You're born a Shiba Inu. Majestic, fluffy, a living fox emoji dipped in drama and ancient samurai vibes. Congratulations, you've just become the internet's favorite aesthetic dog. Instagram worships your golden glow. TikTok thinks your tantrums are adorable. And you're human, they think they've adopted a loyal companion. They have not. They've adopted a furry little anarchist with trust issues, a god complex, and the emotional stability of a disgruntled anime villain. See, you weren't built for belly rubs and fetch. You were built for surviving volcanic mountains, hunting wild boars, and making independent decisions, like where you decide to pee. Now, you live in a 2-bedroom apartment with a human who thinks, "Come here" is a polite suggestion. You don't fetch. You don't beg. You glare. You judge. You scream. And the worst part, you do it all while looking like a limited edition plush toy designed by Studio Ghibli and passive aggression. So how did we end up with a breed that looks like a majestic anime fox, but acts like a rebellious monk cursed to live among peasants with no personal space? Welcome to why it really sucks to be born a Shiba Inu. The tragic, chaotic, gloriously untrainable tale of a dog who was bred for independence, but born into a world of squeaky toys, baby voices, and emotional codependence. And we haven't even gotten to the screaming, the fur explosions, or the Olympic-level escape attempts. From day one, you're not like other dogs. You don't cry for attention. You judge in silence. Your default expression is, "Don't touch me." And your first instinct isn't to cuddle, it's to escape. You were bred to survive solo in the Japanese wilderness. You weren't built for fetch, affection, or being called "my little baby boy" by a woman named Karen who films your every move for TikTok in soft lighting. You were built for self-reliance. And now you live in a house with a welcome mat that says, "Live, laugh, woof." Tragic. And when your human tries to train you, you stare at them like they've just requested tax documents from a raccoon. Sit? You sit, eventually, but only because you wanted to, not because they earned it. Obedience? That's for Labradors. You're on a personal quest for autonomy. Shiba Inus were originally bred over 2,000 years ago to hunt small game in mountainous regions. So, yeah, independence is literally in your DNA. You weren't meant to be man's best friend. You were meant to be man's reluctant roommate, with boundaries. Shibas aren't dumb. They're dangerously smart. But their intelligence isn't used for tricks or games. Nope, it's used for emotional sabotage. You learn commands instantly, and then immediately disregard them like an overqualified intern. Psychologists call it independent thinking. Shiba owners call it emotional terrorism. Even Stanley Coren, the guy who literally ranked dog intelligence, admitted that Shibas can understand commands, they just don't care. Because deep down, you believe you're the CEO of the household. And unfortunately, you're probably right. Let's talk about your greatest trick: disappearing. Leave a door cracked open? Gone. Harness not double locked? Gone. Drop the leash for 2 seconds? Gone. And already trending on Nextdoor as suspicious fox spotted sprinting through a Starbucks parking lot. Shibas are known escape artists, with feline flexibility, ninja-level reflexes, and absolutely zero regard for your anxiety. This isn't an accident. You were originally bred in the rugged mountains of Japan to hunt birds and small game alone. You're wired for independence, agility, and ghosting your human mid-walk without hesitation. You don't run away out of fear. You run because freedom is calling, and it probably has snacks. Once you go full Zoomies mode, you're untouchable. You zigzag through parks like a furry pinball. You slalom around obstacles like your paws were trained by Tokyo Drift. And when your human finally catches up, you pause, you blink, and you look at them like, "Took you long enough. Anyway, I'm ready to go back now." Maybe. You look like a serene fox summoned by ancient monks, a mythical, magical woodland spirit sent to bring peace and aesthetic vibes. But inside, you are a high-strung alarm system with feelings. Because while other dogs bark, you scream. And not just any scream, the Shiba Scream. A high-pitched, soul-piercing shriek that sounds like a tea kettle possessed by a ghost with abandonment issues. And you don't save it for emergencies. You deploy it like emotional napalm. Bath time, scream. Ear cleaning, scream. The vet breathes in your direction, you let out a noise that sets off car alarms 2 blocks away. Your voice isn't just loud, it's strategic. You turn basic hygiene into a full-blown hostage negotiation. And just when your human thinks it's safe, you go full opera with eye contact. You're not cold-hearted. You're just selectively affectionate, like a cat with abandonment issues and a Google Calendar. You'll follow your human from room to room like a fluffy stalker, until they try to pet you. Then it's suddenly too much. I need space. You've ruined the vibe. Shibas are often called cat-like, which is basically code for, you may express love, but only on my terms, during a tightly regulated 3-minute cuddle window once per fiscal quarter. You don't do clinginess. You do brief, heavily controlled emotional appearances followed by dramatic exits and intense eye contact. Cuddle attempts are reviewed like meeting requests. If approved, 1 lean. If denied, you vanish into another room, leaving behind a faint trail of fur and emotional detachment. And the worst part? When you do cuddle, it feels like a spiritual breakthrough, until you suddenly stand up, sigh like an exhausted therapist, and leave like it never happened. Let's be honest, you weren't born to fetch slippers. You were born to crash servers and steal the spotlight. You are Japan's national dog, an ancient hunting breed with samurai ancestry, fox-like elegance, and the resting face of a judgmental anime villain. You starred in Legends. You've inspired haikus. And then, completely by accident, you became the face of $1 billion cryptocurrency. Yes, that smug little Dogecoin face. That's you. You didn't ask for fame. Fame asked for you. You walk like royalty, pose like an influencer on a press tour, and stare like you're trying to make someone apologize telepathically. You're not a pet. You're a walking reaction image with a superiority complex and a brand deal. You don't come when called, not because you're defiant, but because main characters don't respond to extras. So what have we learned? You're not a people pleaser. You're not loyal to a fault. You're not going to roll over unless it was your idea. And even then, it's symbolic. You're a dog trapped in a cat's body, wrapped in a fox's face, with the emotional availability of a Swedish art film. You're a walking contradiction, too independent for obedience, too dramatic for simplicity, too pretty to ignore, and too stubborn to care. You're what happens when evolution creates a canine that looks like a plush toy, but has the soul of a lone wolf, the logic of a hacker, and the daily mood swings of a caffeinated philosophy major. You were never designed to be man's best friend. You were designed to be man's unbothered, passive-aggressive roommate with commitment issues. And that's what makes it so hard to be you. You're misunderstood. You're underestimated. You're labeled difficult when you're really just uncoded for captivity. Because deep down, you weren't built for cuddles. You were built for freedom, for purpose, for solitude on a snowy mountain trail, not for living in a suburban townhouse where someone keeps calling you baby boy and trying to put you in a pumpkin costume. And yet, here you are, fluffy, screaming, resisting affection, still majestic, still iconic, still refusing to sit unless you feel like it. So, yeah, it really sucks to be born a Shiba Inu, but it also kind of rules, because in a world of good boys, you're the main character. Still here, you survive the judgment, the scream, the passive aggression. You've earned it. Like, subscribe, and prepare yourself for the next emotionally unavailable animal feature.